who really designed this, right? It's literally the
One, two. 1, 2. One, two.
Because buka diragna pina tsenga and o kan kona re tlo kena for entertainment no go fela re tlise crowd.
One, two. 2.
Looking back on my life, I'll never fall out. I never forget. All I'm all in you, all in you. Looking back on my life, I never fall out. I never forget. But I'm all in you, all in you. I don't deserve it all. I don't deserve it. 'Cause I'm all in you, all in you. I don't deserve it all. I don't deserve it. 'Cause I'm all in you, all in you. Watching over me, you will guide me. 'Cause I'm all in you, all in you. You will never leave. Watching over me, you will guide me. 'Cause I'm all in you, all in you. Watching over me, you will guide me. 'Cause I'm all in you, all in you. Cause I'm all in you, all in you. I don't deserve it. 'Cause I'm all in you, all in you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for returning my greetings. We are just waiting for our host today, who is South Africa's Deputy Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Dr. Numalangelo Gina. She's going to arrive. So when she enters the room, I will please ask you all to kindly stand up. So you can stand up because the Deputy Minister is here. Please, let's stand up so we can acknowledge our leader. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You may all be seated, please. Okay. So before we start with the formal part, I would like to express a special word of welcome and our appreciation for her presence to our Deputy Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Dr. Gina, who's our host for the day. Deputy Minister, before you and the delegation arrived, we were really most excitingly entertained by the Creative and Performance Arts Band of the Kutlo Tataro School here in Sedibeng. And we thought it would be a missed diem for you not to be able to also enjoy the music that they're going to perform. So before we start with the formal part of the proceedings, I'm going to ask the band to play us one item. So please, young ladies and gentlemen, it's over to you for one item.
happy pie. Somebody, body, 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 did die. Did die, happy die, did die. So bye, evil bye. So bye, 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 bye. Somebody, bye, pepe, somebody, bye, 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 somebody, bye, 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 bye. Oh, be no bye. So bye, so bye, be no bye.
Let's all again give a big hand of applause to the Kotlotaro Secondary School Band. Science is all about being creative, and therefore it was very important for us to start today's event with also celebrating the creative arts. And again, a big thank you to the Kotlotaro Secondary School, who's from the local community here, for entertaining us. Now, before we start with the formal part, it's my great honor and privilege to invite our host today, Dr. Nomalangelo Gina, Honorary Deputy Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, to join us on stage. Deputy Minister, please. And can we please give a round of applause for the Deputy Minister? Of course, we are being hosted here on the campus of the Vaal University of Technology, and we are very grateful for all the support the university has given us in preparing today's event. I would like to invite the Vice Chancellor, Professor Ndlovu, to join us on stage, please. And then lastly, to complete our round of speakers here, today's event is presented in partnership with the South African Agency for Advancement of Science and Technology, part of our National Research Foundation, and I would like to invite the Managing Director, Dr. Mubelatsi Musia, to please join us on stage. Okay, also on stage. And of course, our Deputy Minister is our host, but today's event is also very much presented under the leadership of our Honourable Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Professor Blayton Nzimande, who unfortunately could not be with us, but he has sent his senior representative, his special advisor, Mr. Naban Ngandela, and I'm also going to invite Mr. Ngandela, if he so wishes, to join us, but he indicates he wants to follow the proceedings and be part of it, so Naba's going to stay there below. So before I recognize all the other dignitaries, I should also tell you who I am, that I'm not just some random old guy standing in a suit here talking to you. So my name is Don de Tooy. I have the honor to work for the Deputy Minister. I'm part of the department. I'm responsible for international relations. And today my task is going to be to introduce the different speakers, to ensure that we stick to time, and also that we afford all the courtesy and attention to the very exciting program. And just judging by the way it has gone thus far, I have complete confidence in you as our audience to make this a very successful event. There are also a few other dignitaries I would like to acknowledge. We are part of the national government, but the national government cannot work without strong partnership with the provincial government and the local government. So I would like to recognize all those representatives from the Gauteng provincial government, also from the Sedipeng district municipality and the Imfuleni local municipality. We are very grateful for you to be here, because our work must be rooted in our local communities. We're also joined by senior leadership of the South African science system, so various chairs and chief executive officers of all the organizations which are responsible for science in South Africa. And one of our objectives for today is very much to excite all of you to perhaps one day work for those institutions. So we have representatives here, the CEO and chair of the National Research Foundation, from the Technology Innovation Agency, from the South African National Space Agency, the Human Sciences Research Council, the National Advisory Council on Innovation. So these may all sound names to you of big organizations, but they're really the ones who are responsible for making science work. So to all the DSTI entities and their leadership, on behalf of the Minister and the Deputy Minister, we also appreciate your support, and we certainly encourage you, if you've not done so already, to go to the exhibition, and there you will get a fascinating insight into the work our entities are doing. I would also like to acknowledge right up front Paul and her colleague Asanda. Science is all about being inclusive, making sure we connect, we speak to everyone, and we are very grateful for the sign language interpretation happening here today. Also, a special word of welcome to the delegates from our friends in Eswatini. A few weeks ago, our minister was invited to participate in a similar event in Eswatini, and we are very grateful that they reciprocated the invitation to be here. So, as I was saying to one of my colleagues, this may sound to you all very formal. Today is not really about being formal, it's about being excited, because we want to celebrate science. So that concludes, in a sense, the formal recognition. But we're going to start, very importantly, with our national anthem. Today we are celebrating the start of National Science Month. It's really a national celebration, and you can all be very proud to be here on what is very an historic occasion. And to just show you how important this is, on Wednesday, there was a cabinet meeting chaired by our President Ramaphosa, and the cabinet took note of the start of National Science Month. And if you go to the statement of that cabinet meeting, you will see that cabinet wishes the organization of National Science Month well, and really emphasizes in the singing of the national anthem, and the Vaal University Technology Choir is going to lead us. The choir, please. Thank you very much to the Vaal University of Technology Choir and all of you for that very stirring rendition of our national anthem. I now would like to call on a representative of the university to give us a safety briefing. Of course, it's very important that we all stay safe here. We're a large group of people gathered together. So can I just ask for the VUT representative who will give us the safety briefing, please?
Thank you, MC. Greetings to everyone. Should it happen that we are going to experience any emergency, what will happen is this will follow. We are going to do the following. We are not going to rush everyone that is going to exit. You are going to exit as fast as you can, but you are not going to run. We are all going to assemble at our emergency assembly point. We have the one behind this tent when you turn right along the fence. Then we have two when you exit here behind the auditorium buildings. What will happen when we arrive at the assembly point? The Occupational Health and Safety Department will take charge of the roll call to ensure that everyone who's attended here is accounted for. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and again, thanks to the leadership of VUT for hosting us. And I would like to invite also to join us on stage Mr. Khadebe, who is the chair of the Council of Vaal University of Technology, who has been formed in the audience. The chair prefers to be seated and again observe the proceedings. That's perfectly in order, sir. At VUT, as I've said, we are privileged to be here because not only are they hosting us, but they are really an integral part of the system which makes sure science, technology and innovation works for South Africa. They've got some fascinating capacities in advanced manufacturing. But to tell us more, to welcome us to VUT, and also to talk a little bit about our purpose today, it's my honor to invite Professor Ndlovu, who is the Vice-Chancellor of VUT, to speak to us. The Vice-Chancellor has a long, distinguished career in South African academia, and we are very privileged to listen to him this morning. Professor Ndlovu, please.
Let me, Mr. Program Director, first of all, in absentia, the Honorable Minister of Science and Technology and Innovation, Professor Blade Zimande, who would like to take this opportunity also to thank the fact that again we are here today. However, we do have in the House the Honorable Deputy Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Dr. Numalungelo Gina, the Honorable Premier of Gauteng, Panyaza Lusufi, the Executive Mayor of Sedibeng, and the Executive Mayor of Mfuleni, who are currently not here, but we hope that they will join us later. We do want to appreciate members of our VUT Council, represented by Professor Mandla Hatebe and Ms. Dilosotle. Our VUT Management Committee members present, Dr. Grace Kanakana Katumba, who's also been our major representative in the committee responsible for organizing today's events, Mr. Stelo Mashalela, Advocates Smangaliso Vilagazi, and Mr. Norma, Ayanda Norma, who is responsible for this campus. The Acting Director General, Mr. Patel, and his team from the Department of Science, Technology and Innovation, the representatives of the National Research Foundation, the South African Agency for Science and Technology and Advancement. We also acknowledge Professor Linda Du Plessis, DVC at Northwest University, vice chancellors, principals, leaders from other institutions and post-secondary institutions. We also appreciate the presence of the chairpersons of the science councils, captains of industry, our strategic partners, distinguished researchers, scientists, innovators, educators, and learners. Members of the media, I do want to say, ladies and gentlemen, manene na manenekazi, bomeli bontate, damesenere, molweni, lumelang, goeiemorgen, sanibonani, thobe, dumela, nda, awushen, lochan. Good morning to every one of you. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you to the Vaal University of Technology, and more specifically to the VUT Southern Gauteng Science and Technology Park, which we shortly know as the VUT Science Park here in Sebokeng. Undoubtedly, a defining moment in the history of science, technology, and innovation in South Africa. On behalf of the Vaal University of Technology, it is my honor and privilege to warmly welcome every one of you to the launch of South Africa's inaugural National Science Month. We are deeply honored that the Department of Science and Technology and Innovation has entrusted VUT with hosting this landmark occasion, particularly during the year which our university celebrates 60 years of inspiring thought. As you can see, wearing the 60th cap. During the 60 years, we consider ourselves providing inspiring thought and, of course, shaping talent. For 6 decades, VUT has remained committed to producing graduates equipped not only with knowledge, but with the practical skills, innovation capacity, and entrepreneurial mindset needed to advance our country. While we celebrate this proud legacy, we also recognize that our greatest contribution lies in shaping the future. Through our strategy, 2033 Plus, we continue to strengthen research, innovation, digital transformation, and partnerships that position our university as a catalyst for national development. Today's gathering is far more than a ceremonial event. It marks the beginning of a new chapter in South Africa's commitment to science, technology, and innovation. For more than 2 decades, our country celebrated National Science Week. Today, we launch National Science Month, demonstrating our shared commitment to making science and innovation part of everyday life and placing them at the center of economic growth, industrial competitiveness, social development, and sustainable communities. The purpose of today is therefore not only to officially launch National Science Month, but also to reaffirm our collective commitment to ensuring that science, technology, and innovation become accessible to every South African. This year's theme, I quote, "Science, technology, and innovation are for everyone," unquote, reminds us that innovation does not belong only in the laboratory. It belongs in our classroom, our businesses, our communities, and in the dreams of every young South African who dares to imagine a better life. It is fitting that we gather here at the VUT Science Park. This is far more than a venue. It is an innovation ecosystem where ideas are transformed into solutions, research is commercialized, partnerships flourish, and entrepreneurships creates opportunities for economic growth and community development. Here, universities, government, industry, and communities come together to solve real-world challenges and create lasting impact. We believe that the Greater Vaal has the potential to become one of South Africa's leading centers of science, technology, and of course, industrial innovation. Through our technology transfer and innovation precinct, we are creating an environment where researchers, entrepreneurs, students, and industry collaborate to develop new technologies, create new jobs, and strengthen our economy. Today's launch is therefore a call to action. Let us strengthen collaboration between government, higher education, industry, and communities. Let us invest in young people who will become tomorrow's scientists, engineers, innovators, and entrepreneurs. And let us continue building a knowledge economy that creates opportunities, transforms communities, and improves the lives of all South Africans. As VUT celebrates 60 years of excellence, we reaffirm our commitment to remaining a trusted partner in advancing science, technology, and innovation for the benefit of our nation. It is therefore my great honor and privilege to welcome you to the launch of the National Science Month 2026. Welcome to VUT Science Park. Welcome to Vaal University of Technology. I thank you. Ngiyabonga, ngiyaleboga.
Thank you very much, Professor Ndlomo, for that welcoming remarks, but also inspiration and reflection on the purpose of why we are gathered here today. And indeed, we have an esteemed gathering of senior science leaders, and I would also like to acknowledge the acting CEO of the South African Council for Natural Scientific Professions who has joined us. So really with us here today, we have all those leaders who think about strategy, about funding and policy for science in South Africa. Our minister has a mantra. Minister Nzimande has set a task for us, and indeed for all of us in South Africa, that in everything we do, we must put science, technology, and innovation at the center of government, of education, of industry, and society. And of course, how do we do that? We talk about science, all of us, an inclusive debate. We argue, we reflect, what role should science play in our society? How can we better use science? But what are the concerns about science? And therefore, to encourage that debate through our National Research Foundation agency, South African Agency for Science Technology Advancement, led by Dr. Musia, over the past 2 months, there's been a debating competition involving the community here from Sedibeng, the Kanya Lesedi High School, as well as from Tshwane, where the Magetse High School was amongst those participating. And they debated the topic, which I'm sure all of us can relate to. What is the role of artificial intelligence? Now, I'm sure perhaps some of you are already using AI for your homework. And of course, that's exciting. It offers interesting potential, but we should also ask ourselves the question, does this perhaps not compromise the integrity of our education? Is this going to help us to really achieve that excellence? So those are the questions we must debate. There's not necessarily a right or wrong. So more than 30 schools participated in Sedibeng and Tshwane in this debating competition. But today we just wanted to give the audience here an insight. And it's a privilege for me, therefore, to invite representatives from the Magetsi High School and the Kanya Lesedi High School, who's going to give us a short demonstration of the debate. I should emphasize what we're going to see is not part of the competition. Later today, we're going to be recognizing those who were the winners of the competition. So can I please ask the debating champions from Magetsi and Kanya Lesedi to join us on stage, please. Shall we please give, let's quieten down everyone, and let's hear the voice of the future on this very important topic. So if I could invite the debating teams to start, please.
A good day, everyone. To all the honorable ladies and gentlemen, everyone, I greet you all today and introducing also the Ministers' Debate Competition. So, basically, this debate competition, we started at Pretoria High School there, where we started on the first round of Tshwane North District there. So, basically, this debate competition is sort of a competition whereby and debated on the topic of the use of artificial intelligence in learning, if it compromises the academic integrity and excellency of students. So we went then from the first round, we went on to the second round at Saibona again, where we were counted as the top 2 schools, and we are here now at the sitting behind the Minister of Science and Technology there. Thank you very much, everyone. We will be presenting and we will be giving you everything to expect on the topic of science, technology, and innovation. Thank you very much.
As you wish, we can ask one of the teams to start by giving us your conclusions. What were the key issues you discussed, please?
If a learner can earn a distinction without ever having a single original thought, can we still call that education? Remember, education was created to build minds, not to outsource them. Greetings to the esteemed ladies and gentlemen and the entire house at large. My name is Kolani Amogelanko Manisi, the first speaker of the preposition. Today we are in favor of the motion. Does the use of AI in learning compromise learner academic integrity and excellence? But before we present our arguments, allow me to define the key terms. Artificial intelligence, shortly known as AI, is the ability of computer systems to perform tasks that would normally require human intelligence. To compromise is to hinder or disturb something from functioning the way it should. Academic integrity is the responsibility of a learner to learn honestly and responsibly, even when there's no one in the room watching them. Academic excellence is the achievement of a learner's utmost best through determination, hard work, and genuine effort. As the preposition, we strongly believe and declare that AI does compromise academic integrity and excellence. Remember, education should build minds, not outsource them. According to the www.coursera.org, AI was first developed by Alan Turing and later on by many other scientists. The recent EdWeek survey revealed that many educators believe that the use of AI in learning lessens critical thinking skills. Common examples of AI we use in our everyday lives include chatbots like Meta AI or ChatGPT. Our argument is not built on one point only. It is built on strong pillars of logic, reasoning, and research. Firstly, Katleho Chokwe, who will explain how the overuse of AI leads to a lack of authenticity. Furthermore, Spesihle Tadiwanashe Mariro will explain the dependency caused by AI. Remember that knowledge gained through effort, hard work, and determination lasts, but knowledge gained from AI disappears the moment the screen is turned off. As the old saying goes, a crutch may help you walk for a while, but if you never let it go, you will never learn to run. To conclude our case, Lesedi Mtombeni will deliver the final nail in the opposition's argument and prove beyond reasonable doubt that the use of AI in learning does compromise academic integrity and excellence. The opposition may defend AI, but we will defend something far more important, authentic intelligence. We stand firmly in support of the motion. I thank you.
House of debate in its fullest capacity, I greet you all. Ladies and gentlemen, Imagine a learner in a rural classroom with no tutor, no internet or textbooks. Now give that learner AI. In 10 seconds, they have a teacher, a translator, and a study buddy. Is that compromise or access? Standing before you is the first speaker of the proposition team, Leano Mdlame. With me are my teammates, Nkate Kontabanyani, re kgotsofetse Mabaso, and Luyama Motsepe. Ladies and gentlemen, my team and I stand firmly against the motion. No, the use of AI in learning does not compromise academic integrity and excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, before I continue, let me define the key terms in the debate. Academic integrity means means doing your own work with honesty, without cheating or plagiarism. Compromise is to weaken or reduce a standard for convenience. Excellence is mastery through effort, consistency, and deep understanding. Ladies and gentlemen, academic integrity is doing your own work honestly, but it does not mean you can't be helped. AI is just a tool that assists learners if they struggle. The problem is not AI, however, it is misuse. If AI explains a particular thing and the learner just copies and pastes, the learner should be blamed, not AI. Not to forget that plagiarism existed long before ChatGPT. Ladies and gentlemen, proposition does not realize that we are in the fourth industrial revolution where AI is becoming smart. They are trying to take us back and we are not going there. So for those proud reasons, I proudly oppose the motion.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Katleho Chokwe from Makete High School. And then as the second speaker of the preposition, I will start by asking a question. When a machine generates the idea, structures the work for you, then what part of that work do you really own? Following up, I would like to make a statement. When AI becomes the brain behind the assignment, originality is not weakened, but it is completely erased. I would like to ask a question once again. If AI tells learners what to think, what to say, will we ever have variety, creativity, and diversity in our academic institutions? We have to remember that the main thing that we are here it is because of science and technology, and it's all about creativity. But then if AI tells us everything that we need to know, will we ever gain that? Ladies and gentlemen, I would like us to remember that academic integrity starts with original thought. And when AI does the thinking, academic integrity becomes the first casualty. Ladies and gentlemen, I heard the first speaker saying that AI makes education more accessible, but should accessibility come at the price of academic integrity? Ladies and gentlemen, I would like us to remember that when you compare these two, books and the modern AI, I would like you, in your mind, compare those two and say, does the book give you the information or does it teach you to get the information? AI delivers the information on a silver platter, making your critical thinking skills weaker. Therefore, I think I have made my point enough. I thank you.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Khotsofetse Mabaso, a proud learner from Kanyal City Sports School of Specialization. And as the second speaker of the opposing team, I stand firmly to argue that AI in education does not compromise academic integrity and excellence. Firstly, the proposition may argue that AI encourages cheating, but cheating existed long before AI. Learners copied homeworks and cheated on tests way before technology became advanced. The problem is not AI, but the problem is how people choose to use it. Secondly, AI makes education more accessible. As you may know, some learners are shy to ask questions to the teachers. That's when AI lays the foundation and makes it more easier for them. And as you know, in Gauteng, we have a great number of disorder between the learner, teacher to pupil. We have many learners in one classroom and limited teachers. So that's when AI lays the foundation and makes the topics that the teacher teaches more accessible and more easy. In conclusion, rather than fearing AI, schools must teach students how to use it ethically and responsibly. I thank you.
Our opposition says, don't ban the tool, but ban the misuse. But we must continue to remember that history shows us that some products are designed in ways that encourage dependency. For example, we don't just recognize a gambler for a gambling addiction, but to also recognize the nature of gambling that promotes dependency. They say AI helps, but help shouldn't become dependency. I would like to elaborate on the dependency given by AI and the future risks. Imagine the state of education in 25 years from today, with students constantly relying on AI for each and every answer instead of developing their own understanding. Graduates will possess impressive qualifications on paper, but lack the skill and the knowledge that it certifies. Imagine a doctor checking with AI before giving you a prescription. Imagine an engineer being unable to independently solve problems. What is the value of that certificate if the beholder can't back it up or can't demonstrate the skill or the knowledge that it certifies? In a 2011 vintage book, Passman Knoll warns us that the overuse of technology weakens critical thinking and judgment. Ladies and gentlemen, based on this point, I would like us to agree that AI should remain a tool, not a substitute for learning. When it replaces effort, honesty, and independent thought, it not only compromises, but it also undermines both learner integrity and academic excellence. For these reasons, the House must support the motion that the use of AI compromises learner integrity and excellency. I thank you.
Greetings to the House at large. My name is Nkate Kontabanyane, and I'm a proud learner from Kanyalisedi Sports School of Specialization. This House firmly believes that the use of AI in learning does not compromise learner integrity and excellence. My team and I firmly believe that AI is the answer to many teachers' and learners' prayers. Let's be honest, not everyone affords a private tutor. AI is the tutor that never gets tired when you ask the same question 20 times. And most importantly, it does not charge you 500 rands per hour. AI adapts to us, and it provides the instant feedback that a teacher with 40 students simply can't provide. Ladies and gentlemen, what the proposition is saying is that if I were to walk and trip, then we should ban shoes. No. Excellence has never meant no external input. Students cite textbooks, consult lecturers, and work in study groups. No one calls that cheating. AI is built upon that foundation. Sorry. When a student uses AI to brainstorm, select a draft, and edit, the intellectual ownership still lies with the student who edits and defends the final product. That's a test of understanding, ladies and gentlemen, not a problem with the tool. AI is here to stay. We should not be afraid of AI, but we should be afraid of the people who do not want to change with it. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, you must agree that AI does not compromise learner integrity and excellence. I thank you.
If a machine thinks for you, writes for you, and solves problems for you, then who exactly is learning? Honorable Chairperson, esteemed adjudicators, teachers, and also to the learners, not forgetting also the LGBTQRN+, greetings and salutations. Continuing with the motion whether artificial intelligence in learning does compromise the academic integrity and excellency of students. As the preposition side, we still say that the use of artificial intelligence in learning does compromise the academic integrity and excellency of students. Oh. Of students. As the preposition side, we still say that the use of artificial intelligence in learning does compromise the academic integrity and excellency of students. As the fourth speaker, Honorable Chairperson, I shall not be dwelling into the debate, but I shall be summarizing the central arguments that were debated and why our case still remains the stronger one. From our first speaker, Amohelang Komanisi, who then introduced the key points to the House, telling us and explaining to us what artificial intelligence is about. Leading us to the second speaker, Katleho Chokwe, who then further illustrated the part of how artificial intelligence weakens the critical thinking skills of students, making us question who really owns the wig. Taking us also to the third speaker, Tadwana Shemariro, who further exposed the dangers that lie with the dependency given by artificial intelligence. The more students rely on AI today, the less capable they become tomorrow. She asked us a question. Imagine 25 years in the future where a doctor has to check with AI before giving a prescription. Is that the future we really want? Where graduates with impressive qualifications have on paper but can't back it up with the right thoughts in the right mindset. During this debate, I heard in a debate there is something called an opinion and there's something called effect. Effect is something statistically and investigated. So their argument is based on opinions, but we are backed up with facts by the University of Stanford. I heard them talking about cheating and the cheating of learners, but we did not argue about cheating. Are they prophets or are they God by chance? Because we haven't argued about cheating. They talked about the accessibility of the tool, that it helps, but does that help have to come at the cost of academic integrity? The solution is not to make AI smarter. The solution is to make students smarter than the tool they use. The University of Stanford, the students agreed in a debate that more internal assessments must be made so that learners may demonstrate the understanding of the answers they give. Ladies and gentlemen, we have talked and talked about this debate, and the case still remains stronger. Do we want a future where the students own the knowledge they have, or do we want a future where the knowledge owns the students? For these reasons, I must certainly say to the House that you must support a motion that goes by that the use of artificial intelligence in learning does compromise the academic integrity and excellency of students. For integrity, for excellency, the House must support the motion. Thank you very much.
Cheating. AI is a tool for cheating. AI makes everyone cheat. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2024, on the 24th of March, Mark Shuttleworth said cheating was 76% before the use of AI. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow debaters, and all in the House at large, standing before you is Luyema Mutsepe. Salutations. Ladies, gentlemen, the real issue is not AI. It is the misuse of it. The proposition says AI kills integrity. However, cheating existed long before ChatGPT. Learners have always copied, pasted, and plagiarized. The solution is not to ban tools. It is to teach ethics and to enforce standards. We have shown you two things. First, AI is a tutor, not a cheat. It explains concepts, breaks down problems. It explains concepts, breaks down problems, and gives learners 24/7 support. Most can't afford otherwise. That democratizes learning. Second, AI raises the bar for excellence. AI raises the bar for excellence. It handles the basics so learners can enforce what actually matters. Critical analysis, creativity as we are here, and original thought. The proposition fears that learners will not think. However, that only happens if we allow learners to use AI passively. Used right, AI can make learners think faster and more critical than before. If you believe excellence evolves with the tool you have. If you believe integrity is about knowledge, you have to oppose with us. And proposition, I heard that you said, the last speaker said, if we enforce these kind of tools like AI, who will actually think, who actually learns? We still learn because we are learners after all. Look at us, rapper uniform. We are still learners. So if we still use AI, we will still learn. And let's be for real right now. We will learn more before, because if you ask AI, what is science? It will break down. It will not say science is green plus yellow makes blue. Thank you.
I think the two teams from Agetse and Kanya Lesedi High Schools deserve another round of applause. Thank you very much, all of you, very persuasively presenting your arguments. This is a discussion which will continue, and I can assure you, you've given those of us in government and in the science system much food for thought. And I can only encourage you to continue to be the critical thinkers you are. So congratulations and thank you very much. We truly have an international event today, and I was alerted that we also have representatives here from the Joint Institute for Nuclear Research in Dubna, and I want to express also our warm welcome to them. The next item is about inspiration, but in actual fact, that was also what the previous item was about. Because for those of us of the older generation, I think if we needed any inspiration, that the future of South Africa, the future of science in South Africa, and the future of critical reflection and debate is in good hands, that the excellent debate between the learners have given us this reflection. But for you, the learners, today is also about inspiration. We want to encourage you to pursue careers in the sciences and engineering, and we therefore invited Mr. Mishle Mevalakuli, who's a qualified artisan, specialized in bricklaying, but more importantly, is a distinguished competitor in the World Skills Global Competition, where he serves as a representative of South Africa in that competition. This is really a global contest to bring the best of students and professionals from the world of vocational training and engineering together. And we believe in South Africa we have so much talent to be unleashed and to encourage you. I therefore want to invite our champion to give us an inspirational address, please. Thank you. I can see he's wearing the proudly South African colors. Yeah.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mishle Mvelakubi. I was born and raised in Eastern Cape. I won't be formal, but I will just share my story to inspire the young people that are here. My journey proves that with skill, determination, and heart, you can rise above any challenge. I grew up in Eastern Cape. I moved to Western Cape. When I got to Western Cape, I couldn't understand the language. It was difficult to adapt to the language in Western Cape. I was in grade 7 at the time. I failed grade 7. I repeated it, and when I passed grade 7, my teacher said, "You are a slow learner, you have to go to a school of skills. In high school, you will fail." At the time, I'm thinking all my friends are going to high school. I'm gonna lose all those friends. I'm gonna start a new thing that I'm not used to. I didn't want to go to the school, but I had to because I was told that I won't make it, I will fail, and that is what I did not want. I started at the School of Skills. I did my 4 years there, spent 4 years. I learned bricklaying and plastering, welding, agriculture, and woodwork. But the one that took the stage was bricklaying and plastering. That is what brought me here. I'm a bricklayer by trade. I finished at the School of Skills. At the School of Skills, my teachers used to ask, "What do you want to do after you finish here?" I told them I want to go to a TVET college. I want to study further. I want to gain more knowledge in the skill in bricklaying and in engineering at large. The same teachers told me, "You won't be able to enter into a TVET college because the school that you are coming from is low graded. It's low standard. You will fail." Same thing I was told before I went to, when I had to go to high school. My teachers told me that I will fail in college, but I insisted that I will go to college. I believed in myself that I will pass at the college. I registered at the college and they told me that they do not accept School of Skills learners because they fail, they drop out, and they will fail in most cases. So I begged, I plead, I said, "Please give me a chance. I won't be part of those people who failed." They accepted me, and yes, indeed, the first term of college, I failed. And that is what has been going through my mind, that I will fail, I will fail. But that failure did not determine my future. I told myself, this is the last time I'm failing. I studied harder and harder until I passed the third term, the second and third term. At the end of the year, at the end of my first year at college, I was in the top 10. I'm telling you guys this story, I'm mostly speaking to the young people. In whatever you do, you need to believe in yourself. You need to trust yourself. And I tell you, if you choose a skill, my motto is that you will never go hungry. Skills are the future. If you would listen to my story, coming from a School of Skills into a TVET college, and even passing a TVET college, I'm a successor. I traveled the world because of just bricklaying. I competed at World Skills. I was the best bricklayer in South Africa in 2017. I proudly represented South Africa at an international stage in Abu Dhabi. I came back, I told myself, this is what I want. This is who I want to be. I said I want to have my own business. I want to encourage young people to partake on skills. And that is what I continue to do. Skills are the future. As I've said, if you have a skill, you will never go hungry. I didn't want to be formal, but I'll just break from sharing the story and just give a short encouragement to the young people. I competed in Abu Dhabi where there was about 76 countries that I was competing with at an international stage. Yes, I did not win. but I learned how other countries work. I learned the quality, how the skills should be applied, and how I don't know how to put it in proper terms, but your mind, once you learn a skill and you want to further it and you want to gain more knowledge, once you see other person, you improve, you get better and better every day. So let me come back and explain what World Skills is. World Skills is an international competition that happens globally at TVET colleges, even at technical schools as well. So at the moment, I stand as an ambassador for World Skills International. I go out and advocate for skills excellence. I encourage young people to participate in skills development and to partake in skills, and so that they can better their future. If you are looking at how South Africa and the world is developing, it is because of skills. If it wasn't because of, if no one had a skill, we wouldn't have been sitting in these buildings that we are sitting in. We wouldn't have been having the structures that we have now. If you look at other countries, how they're developing, it's because of the skills. So young people, choose a skill that you love, and you do it with passion and determination. One day you can also be the best in the country. One day you can also be the best in the world. I want to share just a short encouragement. My journey taught me that our circumstances do not define who we become or what our future will be. I faced challenges, I faced language barriers, but that did not pull me down. Rather, it was a stepping stone to a greater future. Secondly, whatever you are facing, whether it is doubts, self-confidence, or even people are telling you that you're not going to make it, you need to believe in yourself. You are stronger than you think. You are stronger than your obstacles. You are much greater than you think. Your skills are your superpowers. Whatever you are doing, whatever skill that you're thinking of doing, whether it is plumbing, electrical, cooking, hairdressing, every skill you learn is a step towards your dream. Keep practicing, keep learning. Even when it is hard, keep pushing. Let no one tell you otherwise. Failure is not the end. I failed in grade 7. I failed the first time of college. But I used it as a fuel to grow better. Remember this, your setbacks are only preparing you for your comebacks. Every one of you here, you know the road every one of you here, you know the road feels long. Maybe you're learning a new skill. Maybe you're learning a skill, you're not adapting or learning as quick as you should. Maybe your dreams are starting to be getting further and further away from you. Maybe you're planning on starting a business, but you see the gap that is getting bigger and bigger because of the obstacles. Do not let those obstacles determine what you will become. Do not let those obstacles pull you back, but rather believe in yourself and don't give up on what you want to become. Every brick that I laid was a stepping stone to becoming who I am today. At the moment, I'm working for the biggest brick manufacturing company as a facilitator or as an instructor in sharing my skill to the other young people. And those people, if you look at their trail or where they are coming from, they didn't know any skill, but now they are supervisors, they are foremen on sites. That is the skill that we share with other people. So I encourage you to partake on skills. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mavelakuli, for that really inspirational address, highlighting the importance of skills in our economy, but also encouraging all of you to pursue careers, develop those skills, but I think most importantly, through your remarkable personal journey, on which we can only encourage you, is that we should never punish failure. Failure is just it's part of life. It's part of a process of learning. And that's how science and innovation actually works. You keep on trying, and you never give up. So thank you very much for that address. Yes, I think it deserves another round of applause. Well done. I'd now like to invite Ms. Cholofelo Motusi from Tshwane University of Technology and Johannes Kotze from Vaal University of Technology to join us on stage. Earlier today, we debated artificial intelligence. We want to now take it to another level, a very practical application of artificial intelligence. And we had asked universities, colleges, universities of technology to participate in a contest to use AI to design the logo of the National Science Month. So the colleagues from Tshwane University of Technology and Vaal University of Technology coordinated that competition. They're going to tell us a little bit more about how that competition worked. And then with our Deputy Minister, we're going to be announcing the winners and bestow the prizes. So please, over to you.
Good morning. Yes, it's still morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Johannes Kotze, and our presentation today is a bit different. It's about the ethical use of AI in design education, and our presentation is the brainwave or brainchild of myself and Ms. Tshwane Motusi from TUT. And in my presentation, I'm going to talk a little bit about how we went about addressing AI in the design competition and how AI works in design education. So if you won't mind playing the presentation. Thank you. Enjoy.
Who really designed this, right? It's literally the elephant in the room for every single creative out there right now. When generative AI actually enters the studio, what happens to a designer's process? And honestly, what happens to their sense of authorship? Well, welcome to this explainer. Today we're going to just skip past all the doom scrolling and dig into what is actually happening on the ground when emerging designers meet artificial intelligence. So over the past couple of years, there's been this fascinating wave of academic research published that actually analyzes design students working with generative AI. We're talking about students in human-centered design studios, industrial design workshops, and even your basic first-year design courses. And by looking at how these students interact with the tools, we can uncover some incredibly valuable insights about the future of creative work for all of us. Because this isn't just about students, you know? This is about how our entire industry adapts. Okay, let's dive right into this. We'll be covering AI in the design studio, why prompting is actually a skill, healthy authorship anxiety, vibes versus specifications, and finally, how we move forward. Section 1, AI in the design studio and its early usefulness. A major pattern that popped up across all this research really revolves around timing. Like exactly when does generative AI provide real, tangible value in the chronological design process? Well, there was a semester-long diary study of undergrad human-centered design students at the University of Oklahoma, and it revealed something pretty surprising. Students leaned on AI super heavily during the early phases. They used it for research synthesis, clustering interview data, drafting user personas. But as they moved into ideation and prototyping, the usefulness literally fell off a cliff. The students actively abandoned the AI because the output just started feeling generic. And honestly, there are only so many times you can look at the exact same perfectly symmetrical, slightly soulless AI mood board before losing your mind. It felt like the tool was pulling them away from their own original creative intent. The researchers came up with a brilliant way to describe this. They defined AI's role in those early stages as a cognitive scaffold. Think of it as something that helps students synthesize massive amounts of data and cuts down the absolute grunt work of early-stage sense-making and problem framing. It supports the structure of their thinking, but crucially, it doesn't do the actual creative building for them. But the AI also functioned as something else, what they called a reflective mirror. This means that when the AI gets things wrong, say it spits out a persona that feels just slightly off, or clusters data in a super weird way, it actually forces the designer to hit pause and critically evaluate the work. By seeing a flawed reflection, the students had to notice the gaps in their own logic, which ultimately strengthened their own thinking.
Section 2. Prompting is a skill, the rhetorical act.
We really need to fundamentally rethink what it means to type instructions into a generative tool. It's not just basic data entry. A fascinating workshop study out of Yashar University in Turkey had students building these whole fictional universes and designer toys using ChatGPT, Midjourney, and Leonardo. And over the course of the workshop, the students had this massive light bulb moment. They realized prompting wasn't just some technical chore. It was actually a high-level, rhetorical, and creative act. I mean, persuading the AI to generate exactly what you have in your head, that requires immense creative articulation. So the absolutely crucial point here is this glaring curriculum gap identified in the research. Students who learned to phrase their intentions with extreme precision got dramatically better results. Yet in most of these courses, prompting was rarely, if ever, formally taught. Students were largely just left to fumble their way to fluency completely on their own. If prompting is a rhetorical skill, we absolutely have to start treating it as a core competency. Section 3, Healthy Authorship Anxiety and the Emotional Pivot. Across almost all the studies, we see this super interesting emotional shift. Students voiced a deep, persistent discomfort about how much of a finished piece was truly theirs once AI had shaped it. One student in the Oklahoma study actually said, quote, "I couldn't claim AI's ideas as my own." There was this profound sense of authorship anxiety, a really genuine feeling of moral restraint. And this was happening even when the students were using AI in ways they knew were totally permissible by their professors. Listen, if you are feeling that unease in your own work right now, I really want to reassure you. This discomfort isn't a bug. It's not a problem we need to just engineer away with better software updates. That exact feeling of friction, that is the evidence of a critical reflective stance. It proves you still care about intention and ownership, which is exactly the mindset educators and creative directors want to cultivate in the next generation. Section 4, Vibes versus Specifications. The technical reality. This covers perhaps the most critical finding for graphic design, really looking at where AI completely falls apart. So, a study out of Istanbul Technical University used expert critics to score AI-generated design solutions against actual first-year studio briefs. And what they found was that AI is incredibly decent at ill-defined problems. You know, the vague, atmospheric qualities of a composition, what we might just colloquially call vibes. But for well-defined problems, AI consistently failed. I mean, we've all seen it struggle to count the correct number of human fingers, right? Let alone follow strict architectural scale. Explicit requirements like exact materials and proper dimensions were consistently messed up by the AI, even after repeated prompting. This whole concept was perfectly anchored by a real-world anecdote from a judge on a National Science Month logo competition. When they were evaluating these highly polished AI-assisted entries, the judge noted exactly what the Istanbul study found. The AI is decent at vibes, but totally unreliable at specifications. At first glance, sure, the entries looked incredibly confident, atmospheric, and technically clean. But when they were scored against the actual brief, those visually confident logos completely fell apart. Think about it. A professional logo has to survive strict, unforgiving criteria. It has to scale down to a tiny favicon size. It has to work when printed in just one single solid color, and it has to be readable when embroidered on a shirt. And let's just lean into the absurdity of an AI trying to reason through physical embroidery threads for a second. The AI-assisted designs failed because their compositional choices were totally arbitrary and decorative. They just weren't properly reasoned through by a human mind trying to solve a well-defined physical problem. Section 5, How we move forward with concrete rules. The clear answer drawn from all this research is definitely not to ban AI tools from the studio. Instead, we have to fundamentally change how we interact with them. The core philosophy moving forward is this: we must deliberately layer human intention and rigorous critical thinking on top of technical fluency. Just knowing how to use the software, that's no longer enough. You have to know how to think critically about what the software is actually handing back to you. The research provides us with 4 concrete recommendations to build a really resilient creative workflow. Step 1, as we just discussed, is teaching prompting, treating it as a distinct literacy. Now let's look at how that builds into the next 3 steps.
Step 2 is to build in mandatory validation. If a designer uses AI to draft a layout or a color palette or a user persona, they must be able to trace that choice back to real data or real design rationale. The designer needs to be able to say out loud exactly why they kept the AI suggestion, why they changed it, or why they threw it out completely. Your intention must always be validated. Step 3 requires us to separate the defined from the ill-defined. You should absolutely use AI generously for mood, atmosphere, and divergent brainstorming. Go for it, but the very second the brief introduces well-defined specifications, exact measurements, strict color systems, vital reproducibility requirements, you need to distrust the AI entirely and check the work by hand. And finally, step 4, protect the discomfort. Seriously, do not try to smooth over that uneasy feeling of authorship anxiety. That specific friction, that moment of wondering, wait, is this really mine? That is exactly how a junior designer develops mature professional judgment. It forces them to take real ownership. Ultimately, our job is not to protect students, or ourselves for that matter, from AI. The real goal is to ensure that when we hand a piece of work over to a client, we can look them dead in the eye and answer this exact, timeless question. What is mine in this work, and can I defend it? AI hasn't changed that question. It's honestly only made it more urgent. So the next time you open a generative tool, ask yourself, are you using it to do the thinking for you, or are you using it to make your own thinking sharper? Thanks for joining this explainer. See you next time.
Thank you very much. That made it very, very practical, and I think that last question is very pertinent. Is this our work, and how can we defend it? We're going to do the prize giving at the end of the proceedings with the debating competition. We now want to come back to our local region, and I want to invite Dr. Mukondlele Kanakana Katumba, who's the Deputy Vice Chancellor at the Vaal University of Technology, who's going... Yes, we can give her a hand of... She's going to speak to us about how the VUT is the innovation hub of the greater Vaal region. Innovation is all making a difference in our communities, in our region. So Prof is going to speak to us about the role VUT plays in this specific region. Please, Prof.
Thank you, Program Director. I see my presentation is already up. Let me start by acknowledging the Honorable Deputy Minister of the Department of Science, Technology and Innovation, Dr. Lungelo Gina. There's other people which were on the program which are no longer here, so I'm going to skip them. I'm going to go to the Chair of VUT Council, Professor Mantla Ratebe, the VUT Vice Chancellor and Principal, Professor Dlovu, Chief Executive Officers of different entities of the government and also industries, council members of VUT, members of student representations which are here, members of government and members of higher education institutions, community members, and most especially our learners. Good morning. Good morning. Well, it is my privilege this morning to represent Vaal University of Technology during the National Science Month launch celebration. This year's theme is Science is for Everyone. It resonates deeply with who we are as a Vaal University of Technology. We believe science should not exist only in our laboratories or our classroom, but science must solve problems, create opportunities, and improve lives and stimulate economic development. So today, I would like to demonstrate how VUT is becoming the innovation hub of the greater Vaal region and how our work ensures that science reaches every community we serve. I will briefly introduce VUT, share our strategic direction, highlight our research and innovation ecosystem, and demonstrate how our innovations are improving the lives of the ordinary South Africans. Our journey begins in 1996 as a Vaal Triangle College of Advanced Technical Education. In 2004, we became a fully fledged University of Technology. This year, we celebrate 60 years of academic excellence, innovation, and transformation. Later, we'll get an opportunity to cut the cake. So today, with more than 23,000 students, VUT has evolved into an institution that combines teaching, applied research, innovation, and entrepreneurship. Our transformation reflects South Africa's own journey, from preparing graduates for employment to developing innovators who create employment and contribute to sustainable development. Strong institutions require visionary leadership. Our council and our executive management provide strategic leadership to enable VUT to deliver on its mandate of teaching, research, innovation, and community engagement. Our council is led by Professor Mandla Hadebe with its deputy, Ms. Banche. They provide governance and oversight of our institution. Led by our Vice Chancellor and Principal Prof. Ndovu, his executive management team, VUT is delivering on Strategy 2033 Plus by aligning teaching, research, and innovation with the National Development Plan to develop skilled graduates, strengthen industries, transform communities through science, technology, and innovation. Together, we are creating an institution that responds to societal challenges. Our faculties represent the breadth and expertise of VUT, whether it's engineering and technology, applied computer sciences, human sciences, or management sciences. Every faculty contributes towards solving real societal problems. Science is multidisciplinary, so one faculty cannot do it alone. So the challenges facing society, such as energy, water, healthcare, climate change, and digital transformation, cannot be solved by one discipline only. At VUT, we bring these disciplines together to develop practical solutions. Our vision is learning and innovation for digitally smart and sustainable industrial progress and socio-economic transformation. This vision is more than words. It requires us to commit to us producing techno-entrepreneurial graduates who are capable of transforming industries and communities. Every research project, every innovation, every partnership must contribute towards sustainable development and inclusive economic growth. VUT currently serves more than 23,000 students, supported by 944 staff members. We offer a range of different programs, starting from undergraduate to postgraduate, a total of 144 academic programs, including master's and doctoral qualification, that build South Africa research capacity. Our growing numbers of NRF researchers and accredited research outputs demonstrate that our research quality continues to improve. Currently, we have got 12 NRF-rated researchers in different categories. We have recently been awarded an NRF researcher in climate change and extreme weather in Southern and Eastern Africa. Our research output continues to grow year on year, with the 2024 research output being the highest at 204.5 units. However, success to us is not measured by publication only or by numbers only. Rather, our research must create impact. It must improve industries. It must strengthen community. It must solve real-world problems. That is why our academic projects integrate research, innovation, and community engagement. Today, we are at the Science Park. The Science Park is an innovation engine for the Greater Vaal. One of our greatest strategic assets is our Science Park. We are proud to be the only University of Technology in South Africa with a science park of this scale. The Science Park is where ideas from research to commercialization are shaped. It connects academics, students, industry, entrepreneurs, and communities. These ecosystems enable technologies developed at VUT to become products and businesses and ultimately getting to community solutions. It perfectly demonstrates that science belongs not only to researchers, but also to entrepreneurs, farmers, municipalities, industry, and ordinary citizens. The future of our science park. Our ultimate goal is not simply to invest in world-class infrastructure, but to strengthen the innovation ecosystem by creating a vibrant innovation district that drives entrepreneurship, attract investment, and foster industrial collaboration, and spearhead the economic revitalization of the greater Vaal region. Because science becomes meaningful when it changes people's lives. Allow me to demonstrate how beauty research is transforming society. I will start by the Center of Advanced Manufacturing. Our Advanced Manufacturing Center works directly with industries to improve manufacturing competitiveness. The center is ISO 9000 accredited, which gives quality assurance to industries and communities. Students work alongside with engineers to develop solutions for aviation, for defense, for healthcare, and advanced production systems. This ensures graduates leave universities with practical experiences while supporting economic growth. One of our outstanding innovations of the Institute of Chemicals and Biotechnology is Noctiglow. This innovation is developed to improve road safety by helping motorists identify animals during low light conditions. The institution also contributes with traditional healers across the Vaal region to scientifically evaluate indigenous medicinal plants. This is an excellent example of combining indigenous knowledge with modern science. Science becomes inclusive when it respects both tradition and scientific knowledge systems. The Drug Recovery Research Group, in partnership with the University of Pretoria and Kalafong Provincial Tertiary Hospital, conducts cutting-edge research that enables patients to access innovative drugs, therapies, with a potential of improving efficacy, ultimately contributing to the better healthcare outcomes for ordinary citizens. Our Water and Solid Waste Center, perhaps one of the best examples of science for everybody. It is our work on converting waste into valuable resources. Instead of seeing waste as problems, researchers produce clean energy, biogas for cooking, organic fertilizers, solid conditioners for agriculture. Communities benefit directly from cleaner environment, improved food production, and affordable energy. At VUT, we are developing also sustainable waste treatment technologies using natural materials and also advanced nanotechnology to produce affordable, environmental-friendly water purification solution. Working with industry and municipalities such as Rainwater, Johannesburg Water, Ekurhuleni Water Care Company, Mafumbia Municipality, our researchers remove harmful pollutants from water, helping to protect public health and preserve the environment and ensure that science improves the daily lives of our communities. The Center of New Technologies and Artificial Systems, we have been talking a lot about artificial systems. This center is reshaping every industry. Artificial intelligence is reshaping every industry pattern. Our center developed AI, machine learning, and Internet of Things technology, and intelligent softwares that solve practical challenges faced by businesses, government, and society. Importantly, we are preparing graduates for careers that do not exist yet, ensuring that South Africans remain globally competitive. Our Green Hydrogen Center helps us with ensuring that energy security, which is one of South Africa's greatest challenges, is rather achieved. Our Green Hydrogen Center is positioning the Vaal region to become a leader in the clean energy technologies. Beyond conducting research, we are training communities, industries on the safe use of hydrogen. technology. As you know, hydrogen can be very dangerous. International collaboration also enabling us to develop a carbon capture technologies that contributes towards environmental sustainability. The air around the Greater Vaal region is said to be very polluted. The carbon capture technology helps us to be able to capture some of the pollutants and ensure that the air we breathe is actually much cleaner. Our technology transfer office. Our technology transfer office ensures that VUT research expands or extends beyond the laboratories by producing intellectual property, commercializing innovation, and supporting entrepreneurs and SMEs. By transforming research into new products, businesses, and technologies, the office contributes to job creation, economic growth, sustainable development across the Vaal region and beyond. In conclusion, I would like to leave you with this one message. Science is not reserved for scientists. Science belongs to every learner who dreams of becoming an engineer. It belongs to every entrepreneur developing a new product, every farmer seeking sustainable agriculture, every community looking for cleaner water, renewable energy, better healthcare. At VUT, our ambition is to ensure that innovation reaches every corner of the Greater Vaal and beyond. By combining education, research, entrepreneurship, and strong partnership with government, industry, and communities, we are building an innovation ecosystem where science creates opportunities, transforms lives, drives sustainable development. So join us in this mission as we move forward. We call on industry and other communities and any person around the Greater Vaal who would like to join us in this mission, that we work together to advance our mandate. This is what we mean when we say science is for everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Kanakana Katumba, for that fascinating overview of the exciting work being done here at VU2, but most importantly, the invitation to all of us to partner with VU2, and specifically for our learners to consider studies at VUT in this very exciting enterprise to make science work for society. You've been an excellent audience. I would really like to thank you for your attention. I know we've had a number of speeches, but to give us a little bit of energy before we conclude, I'm going to ask the excellent band from Kutlu Taru High School here in Sedibeng just to come to the stage. If you could come up quickly, please, and quickly ready us to entertain us with one item. Hopefully it's going to be an energetic item, and please do not leave your seats, but you have my permission if you want to stand up and perhaps just sway or move to the music. So we are energized for the concluding part. So over to the band from Kutlo Taru.
One, two. I'm saying now, this is me, and I'm giving you my love. I'm saying that this voices in my dreams are saying this is who I am, saying all I hear, this is where I wanna be. There's melodies in the air telling me where I shall am. Ndingaba yintoni na ngaphandle kokomino. There ain't a way to show you. There ain't a way to show you. There ain't a way to show you. Manzo chizinto, malam kulomino. When you smile, when you dance, when you look into my eyes, manzo chizinto, malam kulomino. Oh, nawe bendibuza, ngabufuna ntoni naye. Oh, but in Dezali, there's a thing is on about you. Oh, but in Dezali, there's a thing is on about you. Dilapa ndezindi maya, oh, jengabano nasibi, oh. So I'm saying this is me, so please just let it be. I'm giving you my love, I'm giving you my love. I'm saying this is me, so please just let it be. I'm giving you my love. There ain't no way to show you, how to show you, yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. There ain't no way to show you, how to show you, yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Baby, bamba, bamba, yeah. Bamba, yeah. Bamba, yeah. Bamba, yeah. Bamba, yeah. Bamba, yeah. Bamba,
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for providing us with some vibrant energy for the final part of our program this morning. You know, one of our key missions is to encourage young South Africans to pursue careers in the science. And we're doing that often by highlighting some of the exciting opportunities, typically, for example, in space, and we have the CEO of the South African National Space Agency there, but science is everywhere. And if you enjoy film and television, perhaps you like crime, murder stories. So we thought it would be important to use an example of the exciting but also the importance of science in the forensic science. I'm sure you've come across forensic pathology. And we are very privileged to have with us Professor Ryan Blumenthal, who is a forensic pathologist at the University of Pretoria, who's going to tell us all about the importance of forensic science in today's world, and hopefully inspire some of you to pursue that career. Professor Blumenthal, over to you.
Yeah, what a great honor to be here. Thank you very much to everybody. I know it's before lunch, but we'll be discussing death. All right. And the dead have a lot to teach the living. All right, so I asked AI who I am. And AI had this to say. So I'm a forensic pathologist. I have performed over 13,000 autopsies. How many is 13,000? That's 4 times the amount of this tent. I've done full autopsies on 13,000 people. I've written some books, all right? Some became bestsellers. I'm apparently very well known internationally for my work on lightning. I've done some high-profile autopsies. I've investigated Marikana autopsies, life at Sedameni, and I've performed the autopsy on a president. I won the NSTF award last year for communication of science, and I've got lightning pathologist season 1 and season 2. That's how most of you know me. This was seen by, I think, 22 million people, lightning pathologist. So the stories I'm going to share with you today have been crystallized from the messy, muddy, bloody, smelly, greasy, cooked, charred world of the autopsy. Did I mention smelly? The autopsy is science. Death is science. And it's not for everybody. This is a calling. This career is not for everybody. But I want to show you how important science is even in death. So my days are very varied. Some days I'm up mountains because some people like to kill themselves up on a mountain where there's a view. Some days I'm in caves because sometimes people get murdered and thrown into a cave, and then I have to be inside a cave. Some days I'm at mass disasters because that's sometimes what happens, and then I'm at mass disasters. This was a luxury train that overturned, and there was electrical wires, and it was wild. Most days, I'm behind my microscope, looking at tissue, like lung tissue, and I don't even make eye contact with another living human being. So we as forensic pathologists have got a very important job in society. We determine the cause and manner of death. We determine what happened, why people die. And it's very important for us to know why people die. It's in our DNA. Because if someone just drops dead at rest or at exertion, this could mean that there's an enemy inside our own community or outside, or it could be natural causes. And sometimes someone's just found dead and we have to identify who they are. And we have to document all the injuries on the body. We'll go to the scenes of death, and we go to court, and we go to crime scenes, and we provide expert testimony. These are the tools of my trade. With just this, I can tell you what happened and why someone died. It's the cheapest procedure in the whole of medicine. Look, some of us are very lucky. We've got x-ray machines, but just with those tools, I can tell you how we die. Now, there's 2 types of autopsies. Autopsies of documentation and autopsies of discovery. Sometimes I go in just to document what happened. So if someone dies under anesthetic, I go in and I document what happened. But sometimes people just drop dead, and now I go in by the grace of God. I don't know what they dropped dead from. They could have dropped dead from a virus, from a chemical, could be murder, and these are the most thrilling type of autopsies. So there is a picture of me walking through my mortuary. Okay, and there are many lessons to be learned from the autopsy tables, because unnecessary deaths can be prevented, lives can be saved, and the same type of death should never happen twice. And we deal with highly complex matters of society, and it's always in our best interest to try and serve. So I see us as public health pathologists, because our duty is to safeguard the community. We want to bring the accused to justice. We want to exonerate the innocent. We want to give closure to people, but it takes its emotional toll. You've got to be really mentally and emotionally and psychologically tough for this. Would I do it again? Yes, I would do it again in a heartbeat. Now, before I start my talk today, I want to give you some quotes from my hero, Lester Adelson. He said, in the autopsy room, we see people with their naked bodies. When families see us, we see their guilt, their grief, their greed. We see families with their naked souls. And regardless of color, race, sex, or the shape of your nose, everyone has the same red blood at autopsy, and the tears shed for lost loved ones are equally salty. I see what we've got in common. There's more in common with us than you can ever believe. And you don't become hardened to death, you become more sensitive to it. Now, what kills you? What kills you? The smallest things can kill you. I've seen people die from a pimple on the nose. Never fiddle with a pimple on your nose. Why? Because this is what's known as the death triangle. All the veins drain to your cavernous sinus. And I've seen people die from meningitis and cavernous sinus thrombosis. So if you've got a pimple on your nose, you just leave it alone. But now what really kills you? The law of threes. 3 minutes without air will kill you. 3 days without water will kill you. 3 weeks without food will kill you. And 3 years without a relationship. But creatures great and small can kill you. I've done autopsies in South Africa of lions that kill people and leopards. But one of the strangest cases I ever had was a 42-year-old male from Pretoria that was killed by a wasp. This little wasp stung him on the top of his foot. That is the injury. And this is the size of the wasp. This little wasp stung him on the top of his foot and he died. That's the wasp. And this wasp, we didn't know what species this wasp was. So we got an entomologist. This wasp traveled more in death than it did in life. It went all the way to Bloemfontein and back. And we found out it's a Hymenoptera species. And he got stung on the top of his foot and it raised his blood pressure and he actually had a heart attack. He had a coronary artery thrombosis. So what can you hope to learn from me here today as a forensic pathologist? Number one, we are military and mercenary attention to detail people. The smallest things, we work systematically. We document everything. We work with other experts. We don't know it all, and we just want to make everyone's life better. Now, we are public health pathologists. Did you know, for example, that it was a forensic pathologist called Gary Simmons that worked out that your car window can kill you? It was a 26-month-old female that accidentally pushed the electric car button on the window, and the window went up and strangulated her, and she died. And Gary Simmons highlighted the public health hazard of electric power car windows. And now, every single car on earth, if you get a body part caught between the window and the car, there's a cutout mechanism. So did you know that electric power car windows can kill you? We worked out it's deadly. Every modern society has got some kind of death investigation system. And forensic pathologists help create the following 6 campaigns in the world. The Back to Sleep campaign. Have you heard of the Back to Sleep campaign? You can trust me on this. When you have a baby, you put them to sleep on their back. If you put them to sleep face down, they don't do well. You can trust me on this. It's called the Back to Sleep campaign. It's called SIDS, Sudden Infant Death Syndrome. When you have a baby, you put them to sleep on their back. Forensic pathologists work this out. When thunder roars, go indoors. That's our campaign in lightning. When thunder roars, go indoors. You're safer indoors than outdoors. A lot of the stuff with tobacco came from the autopsy table. And those of you who vape, I'm more in favor of tobacco than vaping. Why? Because a cigarette has got a beginning and an end, so we know how much dosage of tobacco you've got. But a vape is a bottomless pit of who knows what you're inhaling. So that's why we've got pack years of history, but vaping is bad news. You can be, you can be inhaling liters of some unknown substance. And there's a condition called EVALI, e-cigarette and vape-induced lung injury, which can injure and kill you. So both are bad news. A lot of the stuff from HIV/AIDS came from the autopsy table. A lot of the traffic stuff came from the autopsy table, and a lot of the vaccine stuff came from the autopsy table. So in Golden Gate National Park Bridge in America, they've had over 1,200 people jump off that bridge and kill themselves. And only 2 years ago, October, they decided to build a safety net. So now if you want to go and kill yourself and jump off that bridge, you're just going to break your ankles, but you'll survive. So what can I tell you from the autopsy table? Number one, there is no reason to be out after midnight anywhere in the world. Be home before midnight. All my dockets, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., that's when the accidents happen. Please be home before midnight. What's the strangest thing I've ever found inside a body in 13,000 autopsies? Do you want to know? So it was a South African that died in Central Africa in an airplane crash. He came to South Africa in a steel coffin, in a wooden coffin with steel screws, and the steel coffin was filled with 100% formalin. So we know you don't open this coffin indoors because the formalin will turn to gas and you can't breathe. So we take it outdoors, and we used a very special technique developed here in Africa called the green water snake technique. You know what that is? A hose pipe. And we take this hose pipe and we wash off the body, and I noticed that there's some wire sticking out of his chest. Now we're always very careful because, you know, this could be anything. This could be a bomb. So we x-ray the body. Do you know what this was? This was a giant African cane rat that had crawled into his body in Central Africa. That's the rat. And it was the tail of the rat that was sticking outside his chest. And it was in fetal position inside of his chest. I'm always on the lookout for world records at autopsy because we get to see what's happening to South Africans. We get to see what's happening. And I'm always on the lookout. I always measure the anterior abdominal fat wall thickness. So we're getting fatter as South Africans. When I started 27 years ago, it was 2 centimeters. It's now 4 centimeters. And the longest appendix in the world was a Croatian man who had a 26 centimeter appendix. And the other day I found one that was 24.5 centimeters. So I was close to the world record. So you've got to think like a medical detective. You've got to notice the smallest things, because contact theory is how we catch murderers. Every contact leaves a trace. As you're sitting here, you're leaving some perfume on the chair is leaving something on you. And if I found a footprint at the scene, you must explain to me how your footprint got at the scene. And contact depends on 3 things: intensity, duration, and nature of contact. How hard, how long, and what kind of contact. That determines contact theory. So you don't just get TB. You have to have intensity, duration, and nature of contact. How hard, how long, and what kind of contact you have with someone with TB. And that's why I'm not a fan of glitter. Do you realize if one person today walks in here with glitter makeup, we're all going to be covered in glitter? That's how contact theory works. All right. So that's trace evidence. And we're always looking for murderers, and we're always looking for toxicology, and we're always trying to learn more. So South Africa, let's just give you some stats here. We've got some overpopulation coming. This is an informal settlement, 2011, Crossroads, Cape Town, 2013, 2015, 2017. When I started this field in 1988, there were 35 million people in South Africa. Do you know how many people there are now? 65 million people. So we've had 30 million people join South Africa in the last 38 years. And nothing has changed in the infrastructure. And here's a snapshot of South Africa, how hard we work. So there's 65 million people in South Africa. Every year, 600 or 500,000 people will die from natural causes. That's TB, AIDS, cancer, heart attacks. I'm not interested in those cases, they get buried. But unnatural deaths, murders, suicides, accidents make up 70,000. And of those 70,000, 25,000 are murders in South Africa, 15,000 are road traffics, 10,000 are suicides. Take a look at this. There are more murders than there are road traffic accidents and suicides. All of us are working very hard. I was a very good-looking young man, but there are only 80 to 90 of us in the whole country, and we're all doing about 400 to 600 autopsies per person per year. And this reflects what's happening in society. So I can tell you about our firearms, I can tell you about our drugs. It serves as silent witness for South Africa. And I don't want to boast, but we come first, second, fifth, sixth, seventh, and 17th places, some of the most dangerous places in the world. The chances of you dying on the way to buy your lottery ticket in South Africa is greater than you winning the lottery. I want to repeat this. The chances of you dying an unnatural death in South Africa on the way to buy your lottery ticket is greater than you winning the lottery. So what does it feel like? It feels like bearing first-hand witness to, on behalf of everyone, courts, relatives, public society, of man's inhumanity to man. However, there are positive pronouncements to be made also. It's not all doom and gloom. There's new developments. There's extraordinary progress. We've got drones now that we fly into death scenes. We've got new facial recognition software. Laboratories on a chip. If we find blood on a scene, we scoop it up and we can say, this is the owner of that blood. You can kill someone now by a cell phone. Not by throwing it at them, by hacking their medical device. So you can hack someone's medical device and give them an overdose of insulin. So now we have to make hack-proof medical devices. And there's artificial general intelligence and artificial superintelligence coming. Our doctors are no longer curing the sick, they're upgrading the healthy. And we've got, for example, a mobile quadruped dog called Smooth, which has got payloads on its back. So now for death scenes, we don't have to go in. We can send this to a hanging death scene, and we can tell you what happened. All right, so before I end off, I'm giving you 20 hard truths about forensics, and I'm here to recruit forensic scientists. 20 hard truths are coming. Are you ready for this? They're coming hard and fast before lunch. So forensic science is not about solving crimes. It's a pillar of civilization, public health, justice, and human rights. 1, without forensic science, murder becomes easy. Every murderer benefits when deaths are not properly investigated. A competent forensic system increases the likelihood that perpetrators are identified, prosecuted, and convicted. The certainty of detection is one of the strongest deterrents of violent crime. Truth, a society that cannot investigate deaths cannot prevent deaths. 2, the dead cannot speak for themselves. The forensic pathologist is often the final advocate for a deceased person. Victims of homicide, abuse, neglect, torture, femicide, child abuse, elder abuse, medical negligence rely on forensic experts to reveal what actually happened. Truth, without forensic science, the most vulnerable members of society lose their voice. 3, justice is impossible without evidence. Opinions do not convict people, evidence does. Courts require objective scientific evidence to distinguish fact from speculation. Truth, the rule of law depends on forensic science. 4, wrongful convictions increase when forensic systems are weak. Poor investigations do not allow guilty people to escape. They also place innocent people at risk. A strong forensic system protects the innocents as much as it identifies the guilty. Good forensic science protects everyone, including those accused of crimes. 5, every unexplained death is a public health question. Deaths are not only criminal justice events, they are sources of health intelligence. Forensic investigations identify emerging diseases, poisoning outbreaks, environmental hazards, workplace risks, transportation dangers, and patterns of violence. So therefore, a mortuary is also a public health observatory. 6, you cannot manage what you cannot measure. Governments need accurate mortality data to make good decisions. If cause of death are wrong, public policy is wrong. Truth, every national development plan is only as good as the death statistics on which it relies. 7, disasters unfortunately expose the strengths and weaknesses of a nation's forensic capacity. Mass fatalities from transport, natural disasters, fires, pandemics, terrorism, and lightning require forensic expertise. Families deserve identification, answers, and dignity. Truth, a country's forensic system is tested most severely when tragedy strikes. 8, human rights do not end at death. International law now recognizes the rights of the dead and their families. Proper death investigation protects dignity, identifies abuses, documents atrocities, and prevents concealment of wrongdoing. Truth, human rights begin in life but extend beyond death. 9, Trust in government depends on trust in investigations. When deaths are poorly investigated, public health erodes. People lose faith in police, courts, health systems, and government institutions. Truth. Public trust is built on transparency, and transparency depends on a credible forensic system. 10. A nation reveals its values by how it treats its dead. Roads, buildings, and technologies are important, but civilization is ultimately measured by how society treats those who can no longer defend themselves. The dead deserve identification, investigation, dignity, and truth. Truth. The quality of a nation's forensic services is a reflection of its commitments to justice, science, and humanity. 11. The dead still have a lot to say. Every person on my autopsy table has one final story to tell me. My job is to listen. Forensic science is not about death, it's about discovering truth. Forensic science gives a voice to those who no longer have one. Forensics is essential. It's not just a luxury for wealthy nations, it's essential infrastructure for any society. And show me how it investigates death, and I'll show you how seriously it takes the living. When I was in Bulgaria last week, take a look at this mortuary table. This mortuary table was built in 1919. Check the grooves, made out of solid granite. I just had to show you this. This mortuary table has been around since 1919. The tiniest details can help solve the biggest mysteries. Every autopsy is a lesson for the living. Hundreds of new dangerous drugs are created by chemical science within the next 5 years. We have a youth culture in an age of anxiety approaching incoherence. The autopsy will tell us if these new drugs are dangerous or not. They teach us how to protect the living. It actively prevents future deaths. Forensic pathologist shows you that seatbelts work. It tells you about child safety. We recall products, safer buildings. We can help prevent violence and public health surveillance. One properly investigated death may prevent hundreds more. Science has no bias. We don't trend. We do autopsies on the rich, the poor, the young, the politician, the criminal, the professor, the laborer, the fisherman, the waiter, the waitress. Science is exactly the same. Truth is independent of status. 16, curiosity is the beginning of every discovery. Every discovery begins with asking why. Why did they die? Why is the essence of science? 17, Africa can lead the world. Too often we believe innovation comes out of Europe, America, China, or Japan. Yet many, for example, of my lightning publications have come out of South Africa, and they are internationally recognized. We have led the world in lightning. So world-class science can come out of South Africa and Africa. And the future is very bright. I mean, this is the topic, the modern way of forensics. There's so many new technologies coming. But remember, technology can never replace critical thinking. The scientist remains essential. And science is a public service. Forensic scientists serve, who are my clients? Families, courts, governments, police, healthcare, education, human rights. Scientists exist to improve all our lives. And we are here to leave a legacy. The next great discovery may come from someone sitting in this very room. I'm here to encourage curiosity, integrity, hard work, compassion, discipline. Put down your phones, read. People's got attention of goldfish nowadays. Read books. But today's audience contains tomorrow's scientists. In closing, for nearly 3 decades, I've worked with the dead. People often ask me, do I get depressed? My answer is no. Because every day the dead remind me how precious life really is. Science is not about microscopes, laboratories. Science is about the search for truth. And if we are courageous enough to seek the truth, even when it is difficult, we build safer communities, stronger justice systems, better healthcare, and a better future. The dead have a lot to teach the living. The question is whether we are prepared to listen. And finally, my tagline, I know the theme of this conference, but my tagline is science in service of society. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Professor Blumenthal, for that fascinating insight into a critical scientific profession in our society, hopefully encouraging some of you to pursue careers in this discipline, but above all, reminding us that science is about serving society, and even in the difficult circumstances of death, science helps us to make our society a safer world for all of us. We're now at the highlight of our program, and it's my huge privilege to invite our Deputy Minister responsible for Science, Technology and Innovation, who's our host today, Dr. Numalangela Goelo Gina, to address us with Deputy Minister Gina's keynote address, and after that we will conclude with the prize giving. So your, dear friends, just your kind attention for the Deputy Minister, please. Deputy Minister, over to you.
Program Director, thank you very much. DDD Dan. Allow me to greet the Vice Chancellor and the Chair of the Council. Greetings to the Acting DG. I know the MEC was expected and the Premier. Let me greet all the DDGs that are here. And let me greet the heads of our science and academic institutions that are here with us today, senior government officials, educators, let me greet you. Members of the media, members of the community, but mostly in particular and importantly, let me greet the learners from the various schools that are here. Greetings, Batabam. And you all look good, Batabam. Thank you. I'm really honored that I deliver this address here on this occasion of the launch of our National Science Month. This is a good initiative. This launch takes place just after a few days where our Minister, Professor Blade Nzimande, formally announced our department's decision to introduce the National Science Month as a country instead of the Science Week that we have been observing all along. And through this month, we are saying this is the premier science engagement program that you are engaging into, and also it coincides with the celebration of the 60th anniversary of the founding of the Vaal University of Technology. Happy birthday, Vaal University of Technology. Today, again, marks a significant milestone in advancing science, technology, and innovation in South Africa. And I think it is appropriate that I start by outlining some of the factors that informed our decision to transition from the National Science Week to the National Science Month. As some of you may know, since 2000, our department has implemented the National Science Week as a country's premier science and engagement program. Over more than 2 decades, National Science Week has made important progress in advancing our country's science engagement strategy. However, because science, technology, and innovation are increasingly central to addressing the complex challenges facing our world today, we believe South Africa needs a broader and more sustained science engagement program. We view science as more than a driver of discovery. It is also a powerful engine of economic transformation, industrialization, and national competitiveness. Around the world, countries that have successfully advanced to high-income status have done so by placing science, research, and innovation at the center of government, at the center of policy, industry, and education. South Africa has a world-class scientist and globally recognized research institution, yet our investment in research and development, that is R&D, it still remains stubbornly low and approximately about 0.61 of our GDP. That is an area of concern. This level of investment is significantly below the National Development Plan target of 1.5%, and far behind the leading innovation economies. When you look at South Korea, it invests more than 4.5% of the GDP. Israel invests more than 5%, and the other OECD countries, they average to about 2.7. And then it leaves us with a lot of questions as South Africa is to say, what is it that we must do or we can do to make sure that we increase that 0.61 to at least 1.5 that we have set ourselves for. Then it is for this reason that our department adopted a new mantra where the mantra say, placing science, technology, and innovation at the center of government, education, and industry, and society. Our mantra reminds us that fulfilling this responsibility cannot be business as usual. We must significantly raise public awareness of the value of science in everyday life while elevating science, technology, and innovation as key drivers to South Africa's socio-economic development. It is against this background that, under the guidance of the minister, the department decided to introduce the National Science Month as an expanded, more inclusive platform for public engagement with science. Let me just touch the objectives of this Science Month. The second area where I want to highlight is what is it that we seek to achieve through this National Second Month? Number one, through this month, we want to demonstrate the power of science as a tool for understanding the natural and social world. Two, we want to create and harness new technologies to resolve societal challenges such as social inequality, social justice, and ecological sustainability. We also want to promote informed decision-making and public access to scientific knowledge. And also, we want to instill, or we seek to instill, a culture of deliberate knowledge exchange between scientists and the public. And for me, that has already been done. I can assure you from today onwards, we are going to get a lot of forensic pathologists from here due to the information and the knowledge that has been shared. That is exactly what we are seeking to do, as to say, let us have a lot of such platforms where such information can be shared, whilst we are having our young ones like this, and we are motivating them and exposing them more to what they need to look and the choices that they have in life. Informed by these objectives, today's launch takes place under the theme, Science, Technology, and Innovation are for everyone. Through this theme, we seek to communicate that science, technology, and innovation belong to all people, regardless of ethnicity, regardless of class, of gender, of belief, or location, and that they must serve the society as a whole. Today's launch event will set out the tone for a comprehensive month-long program of meaningful public engagement with science. Also, when we look around the Prince where we are, it is exciting that we have got science exhibitions comprising of about 132 stands and more than 100 exhibitors from participating institutions and partners. And I'm encouraging you, Bantabami, that before you leave, make sure that you have gone around all those exhibitors, because you live here being a change person and even creating more of your thinking as to say, how do you want to shape your life moving forward? There are a lot of participating institutions, including the host institution that you are having here, that is the Vaal University of Technology. But as well, we have got quite a number of institutions that are here, that are participating. The likes of the University of Witwatersrand, University of Johannesburg are here, University of KwaZulu-Natal are here. And allow me to name them, Badabambi, because as you go out there, I want you to touch base with them and make sure that as you choose, you make your decision. You have even interacted with these exhibitors, even from these different institutions of higher learning. University of Cape Town is here, Northwest University, University of Limpopo, Stellenbosch University is here, the University of Venda, Tshwane University of Technology, Durban University of Technology, Mangosuthu University of Technology is here, Sol Plaatje University is here, Nelson Mandela University is also here. But also, we've got our entities that are exhibiting, that are here, that you must engage with also, like CSIR, that is the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, NRF, the National Research Foundation is here, Technology Innovation Agency, TI is here, the South African National Space Agency is here, SAASTA, the Academy of Science of South Africa, ASAF is here, South African Council for Natural Science and Scientific Profession, that is SACNAP, is here, and also you'll find them. They will be exhibiting throughout the month of July, and we are encouraging the community to engage with them. As a key feature of this inaugural edition of the National Science Month, it is its broad theme, including technology and innovation, health, environmental management, service delivery, education, journalism, human rights, climate change, space science, decolonizing knowledge system, science diplomacy, decision-making, public awareness of research institution and young engagement. So, uma ngingakhuluma ngolimi lwami lwesiZulu ngizothi imbizi igcwele batabami. You can go and uphake udle up until you eat no more. But at the end of the day, we want to see you being changed, and we want to see being driven towards the correct direction. I also wish to highlight the importance of using the National Science Month to tell our story, the pride of South Africa, and the remarkable science today, the stories that we are having as South Africa when it comes to the science sector. During this month of July, we must tell the public about our groundbreaking transformative that we are doing in space of science and astronomy through some of our country's mega science projects, such as the Square Kilometre Array and the Southern African Large Telescope SALT that we have in South Africa. Those are the stories that must be known when it comes to the science sector, what we are doing as a country. Let me also tell the public about the contribution of some of our country's most advanced scientific infrastructure platforms that we are having, including Ithemba Labs in the Western Cape, which is the largest particle accelerator-based science facility in the Southern Hemisphere, generating radioactive isotopes for medicine and conducting material research. Another example of our country's world-class scientific infrastructure is the SANSA, the Space Weather Center in Hermanus in the Western Cape. This is managed by the South African National Space Agency, that is SANSA. It is the Africa's only 24/7 operational regional space weather warning center. This state-of-art facility monitors solar activity and provides early warnings and forecast to prevent vital ground and space-based technologies across the continent. It's found here in South Africa, and it's waiting for you to come and work there as the scientist, Madam. As I move towards my final point, I wish to highlight the importance of inspiring the next generation of scientists. We must also use the National Science Month to aspire and inspire our learners and young people to pursue careers in science, technology, and innovation with confidence. Doing so, we can help South Africa develop more scientists, researchers and innovators in the field that are most critical to our country's future growth and development. And we have been exposed to some of them. Our young people, you must know about our very good researchers that are already there in our country. Let me make an example of Professor Mashudu Chifularu and his team that they are working from the University of Pretoria. He pioneered the use of the 3D printed titanium implants to reconstruct the broken bones in the middle of the ear and restore a patient's hearing. That is the work of the scientists that we have produced here in South Africa. Again, let me come with another example. Is that example of Dr. Sandile Ngobo, who invented the world's first digital laser at the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, that is CSIR, one of our department's entities. This breakthrough enabled researchers to digitally control the shape of the laser beam on a computer rather than by manually adjusting the physical mirrors. Again, that's groundbreaking coming from our soils in South Africa. My question will be, what can stop you from coming up with the groundbreaking innovation as you'll be continuing to do your research? And drawing from these breaking examples of South Africa's science, technology, and innovation capabilities, my message to you, Batabami, today is simple. Your dreams are valid because I know you are dreaming right now, and you must never allow anyone to tell you that you cannot become a scientist. Some of you may recall that on Monday, the minister formally unveiled the official logo for the National Science Month. This logo will serve as the principal symbol of this premier science engagement initiative. And I know we are all looking forward to that logo and to know a little bit of a story behind it. And as I sit down, my colleagues here who adjudicated the logo selection process will provide further details on that and how the final design was chosen. There will also be a symbolic handover of a baton to the host institution that will be hosting us in 2027. Again, that will be the second edition of the Science Month that will be held at the University of the Northwest. I'm informed that Professor Linda du Plessis, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, will be receiving that baton today. And we are looking forward to University of Northwest to the 2027 Science Month, which will not be inaugural, but we are saying there is a lot that we would have built on what the Val University have done, and would love to thank you, Val University, for the good work that you have done. As I conclude, can we all carry this message? Let us join hands in taking the message of science to every town and every village in our country. Let us tell every community that science, technology, and innovation are for everyone. Thank you. With those words, it is my honor and privilege to declare the National Science Month officially launched as South Africa's premier science engagement innovation. Again, let us not forget our theme for this year: science, technology, and innovation are for everyone. That is the message that we'll take forth. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Deputy Minister Gina, for that inspirational address and also that very historic launch of South Africa's first National Science Month. Can we please give the Deputy Minister another round of applause? As we now conclude our program, we're going to announce the winners, very excitingly, of both the debating competition as well as the design of the logo of the National Science Month. And to announce those winners, I'm going to invite Dr. Mamoletsi Musia, who's the Managing Director of the South African Agency for the Advancement of Science and Technology, to announce them. Dr. Musia and her team, with Isaac Ramova of the DSTI and others, were the colleagues responsible for this event. And then our Deputy Minister will be handing over the certificate and the trophies. Dr. Musia, please.
Thank you, Chairperson. Deputy Minister, Vice Chancellor, all protocol observed. I think the previous speakers have mentioned all the people, the dignitaries who are here, and in the interest of time and those who are hungry already, I'll just get into the business that I'm called to do. I will start off by asking the learners and their teachers to come up front. The learners who did the debating and their teachers, if they are here, to please come up front. Stand that side for now. All of you stand that side. Okay, so earlier on we gave you just a brief demonstration of how it went about. We had a number of schools from the Tshwane district and from the Sidibeng district who came up, and we gave them a topic and we asked them to debate it. And you can already tell how the debating went. I am glad I was not judging those debating, because I don't think I would have been able to say which of the two schools did better. In fact, if I had my way, I would give the winning prize to both schools. But hey, I was told that we actually do need a winner because the prices are not the same. What we had decided in terms of the prizes is we will give them the trophies. However, one of the things that we were hoping it will have a lasting impression upon them is to expose them to premium science institutions within the country. So we take them to a science institution in Gauteng, but guess what? All of them will be flying to Cape Town. And when they are in Cape Town, then they will get to visit other science institutions or research institutions in the country. And then the winning team will then go on a bus trip to the Northern Cape in Carnarvon to further see the beauty of South African science. So you know what it is that they are winning. I just want to then advertise VUT. VUT, you owe me for this one. The trophies were designed and 3D printed here at the Science Park at VUT. I will send in the invoice. I'm not sure whether it goes to me or it goes to NRF. The Deputy Minister will be handing over the trophies and the certificates. DM, I'd like for you to stand up there. I will call on the winner, because if I call the runner-ups, the winners will know who they are. So I call the winner, and then the runner-ups, please then come this side so that you can get the trophy and the photo, and then afterwards we will then the winners will then go. And the winning school is, drum rolls. You are such a good audience, eh? And the winning school is Magetse High School. the runner-up school is Khanya Lesedi School of Specialization. And the learners from Khanya, as you go this way, is Nkateko Ndabanyane, Rekhotsofetsi Mabaso, Luyema Mutzipe, and Liano Mdlame. DM, in the interest of time, may I ask that you give all of them and then they stand with you for the picture. The teacher, you can join them. To the teacher. And as you can see, the trophies, they demonstrate that they were speaking. Thank you. And the learners from Makhetse High are Katleho Chokwe, Kaulani Komanisi, Sipesihle Mulokwe, and Lesedi Mtombeni. And dear learners, as you become scientists, please note that we need you to continue to build your science communication skills, because we need you to then communicate your science with the same passion that you were debating today. Don't forget my request. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, don't forget my request. Thank you, and congratulations. We will see you later. DM, we are not done yet. So the next item is, the Deputy Minister spoke earlier on about the National Science Month logo, and you can't see it. It is this beautiful logo here behind me. At first, we were not sure whether to unveil it today or to unveil it, but on Monday, when the minister spoke about National Science Month and had a press briefing, we saw it fit to actually launch it so that we are able to then have it today. So the logo is known, but the designer of the logo is not known. So that's where then the announcement comes in today. The logo, so because we were moving from National Science Week to National Science Month, we needed a new logo. We had a logo for National Science Week. So we then decided, instead of hiring a company to do it for us, we decided that we have students at universities who are learning design, and we thought, let us test their capabilities. And we opened a competition to the students in South Africa, in the universities and TVET colleges in South Africa, and we had more than 100 entries, and we had them adjudicated by lecturers within our universities, and we gave the minister the top 3. The adjudicators had the preferred one, but the minister agreed with them, and we have this logo. I would like Wandile Mkaka, who is from the University of Zululand, to come up front. He is the winner of the logo competition. should have actually called all three of them, but hey, the excitement of the winner and the DM getting to talk to someone from her alma mater led me to call Andile first. But I'll also like Ndalamo Muchakwani from Nelson Mandela University and Aseko Gadi from Buffalo City TVET College. Note that TVET College. The ladies are the runner-ups of the competition, and congratulations and thank you so much for taking up the call. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Musia, for leading us in that prize giving. And can we please give all the winners another round of applause? Of course, we are launching now. We're starting National Science Month 2026, but we're already looking towards the future. Science is always about looking towards the future. And I'm going to ask Vice Chancellor of Vaal University of Technology, Professor Ndlovu, to symbolically hand over the baton, already in anticipation, to the host for 2027, to Northwest University, represented here by Professor Linda du Plessis, one of the Deputy Vice Chancellors. Thank you very much and all the best to the team at Northwest University preparing for 2027. That has brought us to the end of the program. We're in a celebratory mode, not only because of National Science Month, but also of the 60th anniversary of Vaal University of Technology. And of course, what do we do when we celebrate a birthday? We have cake. So can I please ask the birthday cake to be brought on stage? Whilst we do that, in anticipation of conclusion, I would like to just express a few words of thanks. First of all, Deputy Minister, thank you again for your leadership, your presence, and your very inspirational address. I want to thank all the leaders of the science system, the different CEOs, the chairs, specifically Professor Ndlovu, you and your team at the VUT, for being such excellent hosts, the DSTI and NRF teams. I mentioned Isaac, Bushle, Kamalu, Dr. Musia, you and all the team. But most importantly, I want to thank you, the audience, for being exceptionally engaged, committed, and dare I say, well-behaved audience. I do this from time to time at a number of events, international events, and I wish other audiences could be as engaged as you were today. So to all our learners, thank you for being very present and being very attentive throughout the day. So that concludes the last speech. We're just going to cut the cake, but I don't see any. Oh, it's there. So it's not going to be brought on stage. So can I just announce that before the Deputy Minister and the VC is going to cut the cake, for the audience, the learners, you should please remain seated here. The marshals are going to direct you to where the lunch will be served, and the Deputy Minister and her delegation will go to the TC room for the lunch. So again, thank you all very much for your attention and your presence. So let us celebrate the cutting of the cake.
National Science Month. Science for everyone.